Hey YouTube, Awesome Rider here. In today's video, I'm going to be ranking all or most of the main Morpher releases for the Power Morpher from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in honor of the Reignited version coming out. I thought it would be kind of interesting to take a look and rank my favorites. It's kind of a mix of me trying to look at it objectively in terms of what's the best one, but a lot of my personal opinion too and personal fondness. I'm not including the Jew Ranger releases. I think they did do a version that was basically their version of the complete selection, and I know they just announced a Memorial Edition one. So those are not included in this. It's primarily PR-based ones, and there's maybe a chance I'm forgetting some, but I don't think I am. And I'm also including some ones that aren't traditional regular releases, but I have a permit, I can do what I like. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started.
Starting off at the bottom of the list, and perhaps an unfair pick because I never really owned it, is the mmpr 2010 Mix and Morph set thing. Honestly, I'm sure this thing isn't terrible. I've never owned this one specifically, but I have had things from like the Ben 10 series that are like this concept, and I'm sure it's a very fun toy for kids. And the look of it actually isn't bad, and in a way is kind of our only Green Ranger Morpher release before we got collector's things. And the kind of galaxy star look of it with it, again, doesn't look bad, but I've always not had a grudge against this, I guess a little bit of a grudge, but I always hated that we got this and never like a regular mmpr Morpher re-release during this, because that was something that took me forever to get in my collection, was the old 90s Morpher. And now, of course, we're kind of drowning in Morphers and mmpr stuff, but at the time, I'm like, how are we not getting a Morpher release for this 2010 line, and instead we got this Mix and Morph thing? So maybe this doesn't count, but again, this is my list, I make the rules, so I don't know, I've just never been a fan of this. Following that up with one, again, maybe you wouldn't consider for this list, but I thought why not make a fullish list, is the McDonald's quote-unquote Morpher toy for the movie. This doesn't have lights and sounds or anything, but this was a pretty freaking cool McDonald's toy. Actually, in general, the lineup of the movie toys was pretty cool for McDonald's toys. I mean, I can't remember the last time I went after McDonald's toys or Burger King toys. I mean, maybe 5-7 years ago, there was some for like Pokemon or whatever I wanted to get, so I'm not sure what the quality is of them. Like, frequently, McDonald's toys is used as an insult for PR Sentai toys in terms of quality, but you'd be surprised how many quality McDonald's and Burger King toys there were, at least back in the day, and the old school ones were actually pretty solid, and this was really my only Morpher back then, and it was honestly pretty cool, and the coins looked pretty good, even if you had the double-sided aspect, and I always had a soft spot for it because of that. After that, then, we have the OG Morpher, which holds up and it doesn't. I think look-wise, other than the fact that it says Mighty Morphin around there instead of Power Rangers or Jew Ranger being screen accurate, and, you know, obviously being a little bit smaller than the show, it looks pretty accurate. Like, the silver paint looks really nice, I think, which was especially highlighted by the recent release of the Reignited one being kind of a dull gray. Like, it makes a decent display piece, the coins look good, the sounds leave a lot to be desired, but it looks overall pretty good, like if you have a retro collection, and it kind of holds up. If you compare it to, like, thinking about the other toys in MMPR in terms of the figures and the inaccuracy of those and stuff like that, it holds up in terms of, like, actually looking good, even if the sounds aren't all there. Following that up, I had a hard time placing this one, which is the movie Morphers from the Legacy line. And I ended up placing it here just because the positive and negatives of the overall way these were released balanced each other out. It was a positive in the sense that I'm actually really glad we got these. I feel like proper, accurate MMPR movie merch was few and far between. We're starting to now get some stuff, like with the Funko Pops. Maybe we'll get more figures one day. But we never really got a proper Morpher release for this. So when they first did the White Ranger one, this was exciting. I thought it was cool. It was the first, like, ninja coin we got, which was neat. But then I was annoyed by the fact that we were milking it with each individual release. I feel like there could have been a way they could have released, like, a huge deluxe version where you could somehow swap out the stickers or made a way to swap the colors. It just seemed like too much. So it was a positive in the sense that I liked that we got this. It felt like a cool, more niche release. But I hated that they milked it. And also, it's a little bit lower, just because it's not the most exciting version of the Morpher look-wise, in my opinion. Even though I thought it was cool, we at least got a version of these released. Next up is the Reignited recent release. I struggled again with the placement of these because I think the movie Morpher is a better Morpher. I was more excited for its release, but I had to give at least some props to this. Like, it doesn't look the best. It's definitely the most toy-like for the tots. No, but it's definitely the most, you know, toy-like looking compared to the other ones, which actually make better display pieces. But I wanted to give it some props because it does have a lot of sounds in comparison to the original. And, we don't have the royalty-free versions in there, which kind of sucks. But at least some of the lines feel more accurate than some of the stuff put in the Master Morpher. You have the little riff of the theme song, the Dragon Dagger flute feels crisp in there. And I just wanted to give it, like I said, some props for the third time because I think this is one that kids will like. I'm sure it's one that fans will dunk on, but I think that unless you have a kid that's really upset about the little things protruding off the coins to pull out the coins, which does kind of bother me, kids will like this. And I think it's an overall fun toy, and I think people forget that this is meant to be for kids. So I wanted to give it a little bit of credit there. Following that up now with number 4, the Lightning... Well, number 4, I'm not doing numbers, but I wrote down a numbered list. Spoiler alert for behind the scenes, but the Lightning Morpher. Now this one... Or Lightning, was that right? Yes, Lightning. I always mix up Lightning and Legacy. I haven't had to talk about this in a while and mix them up. Anyway, like I said, the Lightning Morpher. This one wasn't perfect. Like, when you feel it in your hand, it doesn't feel as high quality as, like, the Legacy Collection items. The sounds weren't perfect. But I think it overall still looked pretty good. Like, I still have it on display, and I love the stand, which is one of my favorite things about it. And it just looks really good on display like that, and I think it was an overall solid release. I'm still disappointed we never did a Green Ranger version. Again, I think that's a slam dunk. But yeah, this wasn't perfect, but it was a good collector's release. Speaking of, number 3 is the Master Morpher. And you know why the reasoning it's at number 3, even though I just said there wasn't numbers? Is because unless you got a Master Morpher, you ain't nothing but a cheap copy. Look at all you cheap copies out there that don't have a Master Morpher. Get the hell out of here! No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, this also mixed bag of a release, especially because the sounds are very strange because you did bring in JDF to do sound bites, but then you have sound bites that feel like they were written by somebody that asked AI or Google what the general synopsis of the shows were. And that does kind of suck. But I have to say, I was very happy we got this. This was one of the last things, as of this recording, that Hasbro released for, their line of toys. Maybe you're from the future and Hasbro's picked it back up. But, as of this recording, they stopped producing toys and have licensed it out to Playmates. And the fact that we finally got this, because it seemed like this was going to be one of the next things we got from Bandai, because this came out with the... Oh my god, I'm forgetting the name of the team-up movie. Dimensions in Danger but episode around the transition period between Bandai and Hasbro, and it looked like a legacy release, looked like something they would likely release very soon after if Bandai had kept it. And I love the concept of this. This was so cool. It was such a cool concept to celebrate the anniversary and to celebrate the unique nature of Power Rangers compared to Sentai with characters like Tommy or Adam, stuff like that had multiple mantles, with I think him being the pinnacle. It was such a cool idea. I loved having coins for stuff like Zeo, Turbo, Dino Thunder, and it sucked that we kind of got a glimpse into like, hey, Bandai probably would have released this. And then it was all the way at the end of the Hasbro toy era that we finally got it, but it was still cool to get. I think it looks really cool. I love the coins. I love the display piece, just like with the main Legacy Morpher, Lightning Morpher. And even though, absolutely, I would have loved more accurate sound bites, but I can't deny that it is kind of funny and endearing, for lack of a better word, to have these really strange lines like him saying, Dr. Oliver's here to clean your medicine. I don't even know what he said. That was random. But I just remember some of the lines being funny. And it's kind of just funny in retrospect. You have to laugh at it. But I have a soft spot for this release. Now, actually, for number 1, I know I just said Master Morpher was number 3 on my little private list because I'm not numbering it in the video. But number 1 is actually a tie between both versions of the Legacy Morpher, the main versions, that being the 5 Rangers Morpher and then the Green and White Ranger. And I don't know if I don't remember if I mentioned this in the intro, but I'm not counting the Comic-Con version of the Green Ranger, White Ranger Morpher because I never owned it. I just remember there being so much drama around it, people thinking they weren't going to release a main Morpher. But the main reason for this tie is, in general, I know like the die-cast metal look of the Legacy Morpher isn't accurate to the show. Although they did later use it in the Triple Dino team-up movie, and then I think used it for Japanese releases. It still just looks so cool, though. That's the same thing with other Legacy items, is they might not look the most accurate in terms of one-to-one from the show with the die-cast elements, but they felt the most premium. These felt like, yes, I am buying a collector's grade Power Rangers item, and for me looks the best on the shelf. The coins had a great hefty feel to them. Hefty. That's random. But anyway, I just love this release. It was just super exciting, and I can't remember, honestly, if by the time this came out, I had finally added the 90s one to my collection. But one way or the other, it was just super exciting to be able to pick up a version of this on the shelf, and one of the best versions, in my opinion. And then the reason it's tied with the Green White Ranger one is, again, generally the same quality, but this was even more exciting to get because I never got my hands on the OG Power Morpher, but there never was a version of the Green Ranger, White Ranger Power Morpher. So to finally get one, period, that actually exists and it be the best version, I have it sounds like I said the best version, but the best version. So I have an attachment to both of these, so equally. I think that if I had to ultimately pick, I just think the OG, not the OG one, but the main 5 Rangers one is maybe my ultimate favorite. But I had to give it a tie because of those reasons. And thinking about it now, it is kind of funny that despite how popular Green Ranger, White Ranger, with Green Ranger specifically is, it's nuts how little releases we've gotten for his Morpher. Like, I always harp on Hasbro for like, okay, we did the Master Morpher, which was great, but like, how did they never do a Green White Ranger Morpher? That's a slam dunk release. And then now we have the Playmates line, which maybe they will do one, but I did notice after I filmed my review for Reignition, going back through the photos, that they are coming with a coin for Green Ranger with the Dragon Dagger, which you can use in the Morpher. I'm like, please tell me you're not going to do you're not going to do, don't bother Luke. That's as clear as I could possibly make it. But I can't imagine, why would you not want to do a Green White Ranger Morpher? It's such an easy thing to just repaint it. People will be like, oh my god, Tommy. Even going back to the OG days, we didn't do a release for that. That's crazy. Sorry about the mini rant there at the end. Sorry about the weird blank gap in the middle. A man named Jerry Gergich screwed up the recording. He had one job.
And that is just my list. Let me know what your favorite releases of the Power Morpher are in the comments as always. Until next time, don't forget to climb the steps and ring that bell to get notifications for all my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.